As you and I sit here this morning, CERN, preparing this show, which won't air until 7 something California time, Tesla stock is down like 4%, inexplicably, no real news. Stock market is down, but this is way more than it's down normally. Haircut, trim, technical, what do you think? What do you think's going on this morning? Any thoughts?
You have nothing to fear but fear itself, Randy.
That's what it is. So you have no guesses. You're not going to help me out
It's
here.
irrelevant. It's not important.
Okay, well,
Markets fluctuate.
yes, they do. That's true. That's
I'm
true.
not going to try to get in the mind of investors that freak out over every little thing.
Well, so what do you think about the upcoming vote? This seems to be one of the stories that's really making the rounds is whether Elon will get his pay package. And as you watch X and try to figure it all out, what do you think?
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. That's what I kind of think.
Yeah. Now, obviously, they would like the most votes possible because it sends a very strong signal to many different parties.
Right, right.
So I support that too, but it's a done deal as far as the vote goes, in my opinion.
All right. And so because you wouldn't give me any help on the previous question, I'm guessing that if I ask you what does the stock do after the meeting?
Um, my guess is that it's largely built in.
Okay.
The stock could do something after the meeting if there's some new information shared, which I'm not really expecting. I mean, I think the annual meeting is not really a place for any groundbreaking info. But I hope the discussion's interesting. I'm sure it will be, and I'm sure Elon's going to paint a pretty bright future.
Hmm.
Does the stock react to that? I don't have any expectation that it will.
Okay. All right.
And I think the history on Tesla stock, particularly after presentations, is
Right.
negative. Annual meetings, I think it's kind of neutral.
Yeah.
As shareholders, I think we're going to walk away feeling really good about our company,
Yeah.
right? But I don't think it's going to change the mind of anybody else out there.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, the key, of course, is robotaxi. I don't know if you're going to cover any of this in the slides, but there's all this back and forth about putting steering wheels and four doors and all kinds of things. Are you going to address that today or?
No, we talked about that last week a little bit,
Oh, we
and I'm
did. All
leaving
right.
that
Well,
untouched this time.
do you have any changes in your thinking since last time? I came at Farzad really hard this morning in my video, claiming that I was debunking his negativity.
You know, I want what's best for the company. I want what's best for customers. I would love for Tesla to develop all kinds of new vehicles that appeal to all kinds of people, right? Whether that's a van, whether that's a cybercab drivable vehicle, whether that's, a roadster, right? I want Tesla to develop those vehicles. On the other hand, I don't want them to waste their time.
Right.
But I can carry those two thoughts in my
At the
mind at the same
same
time.
time in your mind. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, I have this theory because I don't ever have any theories. I have this theory that by 2028, no cars made by Tesla will have steering wheels. And so
No.
why would we all of a sudden divert on this path? And yeah, anyway, that's where I come down.
It's
So
it's it's kind of like Randy, if you made flip phones and you get into the smartphone business, why
yeah,
would you continue making flip phones?
right. Right.
Right? There's demand for them, I'm sure.
Yes, yes. For a
But
minute.
why?
For a minute. Yeah,
For a minute. Yeah.
yeah. There you go. That's a good one, CERN. I'll have to use that in my next argument.
Thank you.
So speaking of intelligence and wisdom on your part, are you ready to show us some of that? I
Yeah.
meant specifically with slides.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. I thought you were expecting something else, but yeah, well, I can go to the slides. Whether they're intelligent or wise remains to be seen.
All right.
But we'll start in Las Vegas, shall we?
In Vegas. All right.
Seems like a good place to start.
Yes,
Really, any excuse, Randy, to show off a Cybertruck.
that's right.
These were donated to the city. I forget how many there were. Was it 19?
I don't remember, but yeah, it was a few. Yeah,
In
yeah.
the video, I thought I counted nine, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's
Okay.
maybe it's nine or 10. But I thought they looked pretty cool.
Very cool.
The one thing that puzzles me a little bit is, they put the light here in this, in the frunk lid,
Yeah,
and that would have been quite a bit of you know, change, right? This is pretty serious material to cut through.
right.
Put that light.
Yeah.
Seems like there could have been a less expensive way to do that, but who knows?
Yeah, so this is of course I saw some articles, maybe okay, you're probably going to get into it.
No, just Sawyer's post and then the Cybertruck account saying, bad boys, what you gonna do when I come for you?" Which is great.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider that they're, bulletproof and extremely fast, easy to drive, great turning radius. I mean, they have all kinds of things that make them great police cars.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and, well, I shouldn't say this. I was gonna say go ahead and shoot the police car. Don't do that, please. Don't
Yeah,
take that
right.
literally. But the police should be well protected, I guess is what I should say in these vehicles.
Right, 100%.
I think they look pretty cool. I think every police department in the country should have a fleet of these vehicles.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of across the country, now we're in New York, Times Square,
Okay.
featuring the Cybertruck in Times Square,
Wow.
of all places. So that's good to see.
Yeah.
Don't know that anybody on the street actually
Pays attention.
pays attention.
Well,
Um,
people pay an awful lot of money to put that billboard up, so I'm hoping somebody looks.
Hopefully somebody looks. Now, what I thought was funny is down here, it says, supposed to say New York Police Department, but it says 𝐒𝐚𝐤
I see.
Um, anyway, I thought that was funny. All right, let's get on to more serious matters, shall we?
Yeah, that's pretty serious.
All that glitters is not gold, Randy.
Haha.
Nvidia this year now has outpaced the performance of gold,
Wow.
which is amazing. One of the best performing companies on the planet just finally, well, there was a time earlier in the year where it outpaced gold,
Yeah.
but now it's outpaced gold again.
Yeah.
And because gold came down and Nvidia went straight up,
Yeah.
Nvidia's up 57% year to date, and gold's up 53%. Not bad.
Yeah. Those are good numbers. Now, year to date, you know how I feel about year to date. It's like, why do we pick that number? Why do we pick that time? It's like pick a different time. Pick a year ago as a time. Pick why did we take year over year? Why couldn't it be year over 9 months ago? I mean, yeah, I mean, all these things mean almost nothing statistically.
Randy, your complaint is lodged, but it's not going to be acted upon by anybody. Please just accept that people look at year to date, and we do look at year over year and accounting reports.
Right.
Well, it's year to date because at the end of the year we discard all our bad habits and we enter the new year promising to be good,
Yeah, yeah.
dedicated to health and fitness and all that stuff. So this is why we do the same thing with stocks. All the stocks that disappointed us in 2024, we've forgotten about that.
Right, right.
And now we start afresh on
If
January
I
1st.
if I was Nvidia, I would put up a chart showing how great
Yeah.
they've done since April compared to gold. Yeah.
Well, this was Bloomberg. So if Nvidia was doing it, it would look very different than this. Yes, good point. But I have that for you too, so that we can go back a
Oh, I
little bit
see.
further in time, courtesy of Charlie at Creative Planning. And what's amazing is 10 years ago, Nvidia was just a mere $15 billion company.
15 billion.
And now it's 5 trillion. So if anybody wants an example of what can happen when AI takes control of your business, right? And you hitch a ride on the AI train,
Yeah,
here's Exhibit A.
yeah. And people can spend just $2.99 and get permission to ride the AI train if they go to Kindle and buy a copy of AI Rising.
That's right. That's right. This is our book that we co-authored with many other very smart people, smarter than the two of us, Randy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he said convincingly.
right. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Nvidia is the first $5 trillion company. What company will be the first to 10?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, about 2 months ago, I said specifically when they were heading towards 5, that I thought Tesla would be the first $10 trillion company. And I'm still thinking that that's probably true, but Nvidia, Microsoft certainly are on the way also. There's some other folks that could definitely, join the run. And then there's SpaceX.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of folks. AI, of course, OpenAI would be in that mix.
SpaceX to get to 10 million would have to be a rocket ship, though, wouldn't it?
10 trillion, you mean? Yeah.
10 trillion. Oh, sorry. Did I say 10
You
billion?
just had to say 10 billion. I know this power of 10 problem gets
Yeah.
seriouser and seriouser. I can't wait till we start talking in quadrillions.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
then quintillions.
And then quintillions. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Who's going to be the first to the market cap of gold, which is currently 28 trillion?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, in that case, I think I can't see any other player other than Tesla, although Brian Wang would probably say it's going to be tight between Tesla and SpaceX.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree with them. So let's continue with the Nvidia theme, if you permit me for a minute.
You could.
So Jensen gave a pretty amazing presentation, GTC, I think it was in Washington. If people haven't seen this video, I would encourage everybody to watch it. It's really quite fascinating. And he's kind of a funny presenter.
Yeah, yeah.
He's done this enough times now, I suppose. But this chart, I think, is really interesting in terms of the scaling of the number of transistors has continued apace, right? And it looks like a straight line here, but it's really exponential because it's a log scale there on the left.
Yeah.
But you can see that the power and the frequency and so on Moore's law hasn't really continued.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is, according to Jensen, they saw the need for GPU. This has been a 30-year thing in the making for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just turns out that GPUs are useful for many, many other things, and we'll talk about some of those things here today. But the message here is that they're just beginning. We are going to change every computer on the planet to an AI computer, essentially.
Right.
And what they call accelerated computing. Right? We're going from CPU-based computers to CPU plus GPUs, accelerated computing. It's a platform shift in the computing world. Every single computing device will be replaced, including your phone, everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's trillions in spending just to do that. Okay. Now, in this presentation, he touched on AI, 6G, quantum models, enterprise, robotics, and factories. We'll just touch on some of these. But again, I can't do this presentation justice. It's really quite amazing to listen to.
Sure.
One of the things I thought was really interesting was partner with Nokia to build 6G AI native network. And apparently they can use the existing 5G infrastructure and essentially make it AI powered.
I see.
Now, I don't fully comprehend what that means in terms of applications. Like I'm sure it's going to enable some pretty amazing things in the world of telecommunications. Like not just faster speeds, right? But fundamentally something different.
Right.
Right. Pushing AI further out from the data center out more to the edge, where the edge of the network.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe Phil Bissell can educate us on this opportunity. But that's interesting. So that's a whole nother avenue of spend.
Right.
If NVIDIA becomes the company that's doing this, and I'm sure there'll be others, but that's worth thinking about. So NVIDIA's market opportunity, is expanding all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Quantum computing.
Right.
This is a crazy area. It has all kinds of implications if we figure this out. But he's talking about combining CPU with GPU plus what they call a QPU, the quantum computer.
Mm.
And apparently the combination of all three actually is very, very powerful. The problem with quantum computing today is it's very unstable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And apparently pairing it with GPUs can make it much more stable, much more effective. Again, I'm just glossing over what Jensen said here.
Right, right.
Um, that's a really interesting component of the speech. But that's a whole nother area
Sure,
of
sure.
opportunity that
And yeah, and
just
people
we're just
and people that watch the channel regularly know that Brian Wang, of course, is an expert in quantum, deals with companies that are doing quantum, and we've talked about quantum a lot on my channel. And the instability, of course, is in giving only like 90% right answers. And,
yeah,
then you get to 95%, it's almost, at some level, I forget, 98 or 99%, it becomes useful. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so fascinating that they would be combining it with GPUs and CPUs. Yeah, interesting.
Right. You would think that maybe quantum would be a risk to GPUs and
Yeah,
NVIDIA, and
yeah,
it turns out maybe they're quite complementary.
right,
So that's interesting. Again, further market expansion. There's a
right,
theme here, Randy.
right. Yeah,
Right. AI, the new industrial revolution. So we've got these different types of models. Most of us are familiar with large language models, right? But there's all kinds of other models that are designed for different things. The model that Tesla uses for self-driving in the cars is not a large language model,
right.
right? So don't just think of AI as one thing. It's multiple different types of AI. And of course, the applications of that is basically in everything. There's
Right.
8 examples here, but there's so much more.
And to give a really concrete example, talking about SpaceX again, Elon said, I think it was about 2 or 3 months ago, he said, we haven't used AI in Starship yet.
Yeah.
So the design, the development, the material
Yeah.
science, all the stuff that they're doing has all been done with traditional computers, and have not gone to AI yet. So imagine the potential to, you know, accelerate what they're doing
That's right.
using AI.
And of course, to get all this, you need what Jensen calls an AI factory, right? It's a large data center. This is what people focus on when they say there's an AI bubble. I'm here to say, in no uncertain terms, that is utterly ridiculous. That's like saying we invented electricity and some people have it and we're building some factories that have it. And you know what? We've overbuilt,
Yeah, yeah.
right? We haven't overbuilt electricity today yet. And it's
No,
been going on for a long time. So it is absolutely silly and actually, I think, stupid to suggest that we're in an AI bubble.
no,
It's fundamentally misunderstanding what's happening here,
right.
right?
Well,
Now, it's
somebody,
probably healthy from an investment standpoint to think, worry about bubbles and all that kind of stuff. That's fine,
right.
right? But we're not in an AI bubble.
So somebody gave, I can't remember which podcast I was listening to, gave a great example of a use case, which makes it so clear that we're nowhere near having enough. And this was in terms of stargazing. So there are telescopes in space and telescopes on the ground that are recording hundreds, thousands of hours of what's happening um, uh, in the skies
Hmm.
every day. You would take billions of human hours to be able to just review what we're already collecting.
Yep,
But AI can get in there and start reviewing it very, very rapidly. And so it could find all kinds of anomalies or things that are happening that a human eye would either not pay attention to or just would not have time to get to.
that's right. That's one
Just one
small
example.
example.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one huge example, but it's
Yeah,
actually one small example,
right, right,
right? We're talking about the vastness of space. I guess it's one huge
right.
example. But yeah, this is, and I think I still struggle with this, and I think I get it more than most, perhaps. But we are fundamentally rewriting virtually everything and how we do everything,
Right.
right? This is a different form of computing, number one. And number two, we're developing a whole new things that have never existed before. The opportunity, the investment need here is absolutely massive, and I believe we're just getting started.
Hmm.
Now, what's amazing is for Nvidia, the CapEx spend, and he's showing here, this is Amazon, CoreWeave, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Oracle. So it's just, what, 6 companies. those six companies this year are going to spend about $443 billion in CapEx.
Yeah.
Yeah, 550 next year, 630. I bet the 2026 and 2027 numbers here are proven to be low.
Right.
Look at the increase we've had since 23 of 133 billion to 270 last year and 443 this year. They would probably spend more if they could, if the chips and the systems were available. They would spend. It's pretty amazing. And of course, here's another sort of stylized way of thinking what's going on. We're replacing general purpose computing with accelerated computing, which is GPU, right, systems. But on top of all that is then all of the new AI applications. And that chart to me should be much more vertical than it's showing.
Yeah.
Right? The opportunities here are enormous. Think about the compute that we need for self-driving cars and robots and all those things. And that's just part of it.
Yeah. Jensen mentioned it a couple of times ago. I've heard other people mention it, but it's way bigger than I think people are giving it credit for. The sovereign nations requirements for these GPUs is massive.
Yeah.
And they haven't started buying yet.
No.
The United States is just yesterday, Jensen announced, maybe you're going to talk about that, the United States is going to buy, I forget, 9 or 10 or 8, I forget, of these systems, these supercomputers. But every country in the world basically has a need to do this.
Yeah.
And again, you can think of it militarily. It's always interesting to think about that, is if you got all this data coming in from what's happening in the field, but you can't process it fast enough, and the other guy can process the data he's getting from the field faster than you, you're toast.
That's right. That's right. No, that's exactly right. Unfortunately, that part of his presentation fell to the cutting room floor, Randy. So thank you for bringing that up.
All right.
Yeah. No, there's too much in here really to talk about.
Yeah.
And then, of course, what does this actually mean for Nvidia? Well, something remarkable is happening. They're seeing a massive, explosive growth in their revenues and earnings.
Right.
So they're saying here that their last lineup of GPUs, the Hopper line, over the lifetime from 2023 through 2025, generating 100 billion in revenue, and they sold 4 million GPUs.
Right.
Okay. Great systems, great computers.
Yeah.
This new one, this Blackwell system, okay, they have visibility now into $500 billion of revenue.
Right.
They've already shipped 6 million, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they have visibility to 20 million GPUs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this order book isn't closed yet. Like this is still,
right. Yes.
we're still counting. Right. And my guess is that the next system in 2027 to 2028, right, will be probably, again, similarly higher than this.
Right. Right.
Could have $1 trillion plus order book for that. The size of this is staggering.
Yeah.
No wonder the company's valued at 5 trillion.
Right.
Right. So this is an example of an AI-powered company that is executing on all cylinders right now. There's more to come. Not just from them, but from other companies that are going to use apply AI to their business and have this kind of growth.
Right.
Certain company that rhymes with Tesla. And then he also mentioned that there's a whole sort of ecosystem now of startups that are building on NVIDIA's systems. So they're becoming the de facto standard for virtually everything.
Right.
It's pretty amazing. Okay. Now, one of the things that was a bit of a disconnect for me was his optimism around providing AI systems for automobile makers.
Right.
Self-driving cars. Right. So Sawyer posted, he says, NVIDIA today announced it's partnering with Uber to help build the world's largest level 4 autonomous fleet, targeting 100,000 robotaxis starting in 2027. And Elon commented, he says, it's easy to get pretty good self-driving, but insanely hard to get it great.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a disconnect here for me. Jensen was pretty excited about this in his presentation. And maybe he just, needs to say that, but I'm guessing in the back of his mind, he probably realizes he can't compete with Tesla on this.
Yeah. And to say in the same sentence, the largest and then say 100,000.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, Elon is talking about 1 million by the end of next year. Now
Millions.
he may not
Yeah,
hit 1 million by the end of next year, but he will probably hit 1 million shortly thereafter. So
that's
anyway,
right. But good for them and good for the other automakers to think that they
right.
can compete here. Jensen, somebody posted this. I don't actually know if Jensen said this, but he probably did. The next generation of U.S. millionaires will be plumbers and electricians. Um, Maybe that's hopeful, wishful thinking. I don't know.
We've said I have a chapter in the book on this subject, and I definitely think that these categories will continue long into the future.
Yeah.
I think that robots will be used. I think humanoids will be used as assistants and capable helpers, but I do
Yeah.
think that you'll need human capabilities on the ground for most of these tasks. So yeah, I would if I was encouraging people, I would say that these are, I don't know if they'll be the millionaires, but I think that they will be their job classifications will stand up.
One important use for humanoids, and this would probably save a lot of money, is when you see a construction crew and there's a hole in the ground and there's one guy in the ground
Yeah,
doing the work and there's
yeah,
like 10 guys standing around outside.
right.
You could replace those guys with bots.
Yes, there you
It'd
go.
probably save a lot of money. And maybe those bots would actually even help the human that's in the ground.
Possibly.
I mean, right there is a $1 trillion idea, Randy.
100%. That's wonderful. Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
should send that in. Yeah.
right. All right. Great little cartoon. Earnings. The bull is riding an airplane. The bears aren't so happy with him, saying, show off.
Uh,
These are rare cartoons, Randy, when we
no,
get
that's
to
a good one.
celebrate
That's a good one. I like it.
bull market. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll have to bring these out when the market's down sometime.
Yes, exactly.
It almost feels, wrong to be sharing these kinds of cartoons.
Yeah.
It's the bearish ones that feel right to share. All right. Tesla, little company called Tesla.
Yeah.
Powerwall is now available in Italy, Ireland, Malta, Spain, Andorra, France, and the Netherlands,
Hmm.
which is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should be available everywhere.
What's Andorra?
Andorra, you don't know the country of Andorra?
I remember her well. She was my dad's, third cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andorra.
Andorra is a beautiful place.
Hmm. Is it
Yeah.
used to be something else?
I don't know the history of it.
Okay.
I guess in future I'll come prepared for arcane questions like that.
Let us know in the comments below. What did Andorra used to be? I thought I knew all the countries.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we could look it up in about 3 seconds, Randy.
Yes,
But
it's true.
yeah,
It's true.
yeah. Wall Street analysts, I love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adam Jonas is calling it. Autonomous cars are solved. Do I mean 6 or 7 nines to the right of the decimal? No. Perfection? Never. But enough to pull the safety driver at scale in major metros. So there you go.
That's right. I think
Um,
that's what popped the stock on Monday.
yeah. I mean, are we finally getting away from the when LiDAR question?
Yeah, right.
Although he says here, Tesla truly believes that radar and LiDAR do not make its cars any safer.
Yeah.
And he says, it's our longstanding opinion, if you solve autonomy for cars, you solve autonomy for many other form factors of AI-enabled robotics, aviation, marine, weapons, etc. So there you go. There's Tesla's
Yeah.
future product lineup right there.
Just crazy. And so, yeah, now on my channel, I've been talking about it for almost 2 years, is that one of the biggest industries out there that needs autonomous for the vehicles is tractors, and that a huge percentage of the underdeveloped world doesn't even have tractors yet.
Yeah.
But electric trackers with autonomy could skip them 100 years into of development.
Yep.
But then I realized maybe it won't work that way. Maybe instead of making autonomous tractors, it'll just be Optimus driving them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, although if they don't have the tractors in the first place, then
Yeah, you got to have the tractors in the first place.
just make autonomous tractors and be done with it. And it's interesting. I'm puzzled a little bit by the third paragraph, although
Yeah.
obviously we're not looking at the whole note here, so maybe we're missing parts. But he's focused then on how much FSD revenue this is. And that's great, but that's kind of missing the forest for a few trees.
Yeah. But what I liked about it was that he brought it up
Yeah,
because it's massive. It's
yeah,
huge. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
if it's $8,000 a car or $100 a month, it's a big number.
yeah,
Um, Compared to other companies' revenues, it would be a massive number.
yeah.
But compared to, as you're pointing out, to Robotaxi, not such a big number. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that was encouraging. I think and there's been some other price targets I think that have been increased to some pretty good levels in the 500s for some.
Right.
Um, I like this. This is actually, if I wrote a cartoon, this would be it. Can't take credit for this.
Okay.
There's strength in numbers. So ignore the narratives and do the math.
Oh, I see.
It's a lot of wisdom for a cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of wisdom. And yet, if we did that with Tesla, it would be, a $200 stock.
No, you didn't do the math, Randy.
Well, if you do the math the way that you do the math and I do the math, then you can see the future and you can
Yeah,
project.
but the problem is people do the math to the extent they look out a year or
Yeah,
18 months or 2 years,
yeah,
and that's it. They
yeah.
stop.
Right. Yep, yep, yep.
That's silly.
Yeah, but I have to be consistent, sir. And I've been ragging on the models that have been created in science about global warming for, I don't know, 20 something years.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see that the what's his face?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates finally said, "Oh, well, it's not really existential." And I'm like, "Yeah, finally." Anyway, but you and I are basically modeling. We are modeling a future outcome, which is not quite the same as taking current numbers and extrapolating based on known success.
Right. It's
So,
different.
so I think it's closer to it is a mixture of a narrative and math. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to show what could be possible. I'm not
Right.
suggesting that.
We
Yeah,
know.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, did you just call us supermodels, Randy? Is that what you said?
Supermodels.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's probably the highest compliment anybody's ever given me.
Yeah, I haven't contemplated that as yet another career. Starting my last career at 74 as a YouTuber. I don't know if I'm going to try any more careers, but modeling, I mean, there must be openings for really old guys,
Well, I think I'm missing an opportunity to brand my models as supermodels.
That's right.
My Tesla supermodel, my
100%.
Robotaxi supermodel,
That's what you should do. That's
Optimus supermodel. That's what I should have done.
100%. I like it. I like
Just
it.
an opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. U.S. stock market cap as a share of global stock market cap. We are about 50%. And it's kind of remarkable when you think that we represent about 4.2% of the world's population.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The experiment that is the United States has been a
Yes.
pretty successful one.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could come up with a long list of reasons why, even though we seem to have a very dysfunctional political environment.
Well, at least at the city level. Right now, at the federal level, it's pretty good.
Well, fine, but over the arc of time, that's not
Yeah.
always the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny because I think a lot of people in a lot of other countries look at the United States and say, "What a mess
Yeah.
politically."
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad I live in such and such place. Well, okay, but it works here somehow.
I'm sorry, but I've looked at these other countries for all these years. I cannot figure out why this parliamentary system or having five parties or 12 parties or whatever, and then having to negotiate with a party you don't agree with in order to, I've never understood why that's better. And
It's
I
called
really don't,
compromise, Randy.
and I don't really see that it has resulted in something better.
No,
And
you're right.
so I like the two-party system. I'm hoping we hang on to it.
Okay. So says the man whose party's in power.
That's right.
Yeah. Randy, don't feed the bears.
Don't heed the bears.
Oh, I missed that totally. Don't heed the bears.
You missed the joke.
I missed the joke.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, yeah.
That too. Don't heed them and don't feed them. Yeah. All right. The K-shaped
Yes.
economy,
Yes.
S&P all-time high. The University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index is kind of plumbing some lows.
Yes.
Interesting, isn't it? And in the
Yeah.
world of AI, does this only get worse?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't.
that's a convincing answer.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. My projection is my model tells me that the middle class will have the accoutrement in their lives compared to what's the upper middle class now. The upper middle class will primarily move up also a level into true wealth, where they just don't even, money's no longer really that significant.
Yeah.
The lower classes, the working class, will move into the really nice, solid middle class. And we already don't really have poverty in the world. The only place we have poverty in the world right now is where you have dictators that are not allowing the distribution of food or the ability of people to raise themselves up. But when it comes to resources, education, the technical ability of the populations, there should be no poverty in the world at all. So
Right.
if we can raise up almost everybody to kind of a floor around middle class, I think that you could decide how this curve is, and it might still be a K, and it might be more dangerous to have a huge true middle class versus an oligarchical class.
Hmm.
That I'm not going to predict. I don't know how that works out.
An interesting thing, isn't it? And it
Yeah.
all kind of started with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Based on this chart, right? That's when sentiment dropped,
Yeah.
recovered a
But
bit,
okay.
and then dropped even more.
Yeah, you also have to take into consideration that the Michigan survey is now 100% online. It is 100% liberal because it's a university. We
Yeah,
can really see how liberal it became just by reading the actual details. You
right.
could see that they were talking from a liberal perspective. And they've also done some analysis on this in terms of the politics of the people that they're asking.
Mm,
And the people that are Democrats see higher inflation, people who are Republicans see lower inflation, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah,
So, and then if it switches, when you get a Democrat in power, then it switches, and other power, the other party, the folks in that party now see things as better, and the people that are out see them as worse. So this University of Michigan survey, I've pretty much almost given up on it as providing anything useful. And it's only about 500 to 600 people in the survey.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe not the best structure. So with that slap down, we'll move on. Here's a T-shirt, Randy, for the bear. The market went to all-time highs, and all I got was this stupid T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that you could ever make this bear happy, though.
He looks, it's probably a liberal adult woman.
No comment. All right, this is kind of interesting, although, I don't know. We can talk about this. This may not be very meaningful, but the closing
Yeah.
S&P 500 and VIX on each date when the S&P hit a new all-time high. So a lot of people think that the market only hits new highs when the VIX is muted.
Uh-huh.
And that's showing us it's not the case.
Huh.
There's certainly a higher cluster of highs when the VIX is lower. I think you could safely say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are plenty of times when the market hits highs when the VIX is somewhat elevated,
Mm-hmm.
although VIX of 25 isn't crazy.
Right.
Um, I don't know. What are your thoughts when you see this?
I have really only been following the VIX for about 6 months. And I've been trying to listen to Tom Lee's take on the VIX. But we're in that 6 months or 9 months, whatever it's been that I've been following it, we've been in this period where the VIX is like 12, 13, 14, like 15, 16 most days. I mean, there's not this huge amount of fluctuation.
No.
And then when we do get it, it's like a spike. It goes
Yes.
up to 32 or something.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
that's where Tom Lee believes when you get that kind of a spike, you're almost 100% going to get a V-shaped recovery in the markets. So that's kind of my only experience with the VIX. What about you?
Yeah, this is something I've been following for a long time. I think it's very interesting. I think it's just a kind of a real-time measure of, anxiety, fear, whatever you want to call it in the markets.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, if the VIX is high, then chances are it's going to turn around and come down. You can only maintain a high state of fear for so long.
Right.
And I suppose you can only maintain complacency for so long because something negative is bound to happen at some point,
Sure, sure.
right? The world has enough stuff going on that causes some activity. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just find it interesting. There seems to be some kind of long-term waves here, I guess you could say, right? Almost like a sine wave going through this.
Right.
Um, yeah, anyway, I just thought it was an interesting
Yeah,
chart.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I do too.
Speaking of interesting charts, oh yeah, and stay alert as the chart bonks this guy on the head, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
if you know this, Randy, but we had interest rate cut this week.
we did. We did. What? Yes. Yes.
Even though the year over year, there you go with the year over year again, year over year CPI trend versus prior reading is higher in the US.
Yeah.
And for most of the nations that have cut rates, it's higher there too.
Yeah.
Um, so that's interesting. And then just today, we had Canada, Hong Kong, and Saudi Arabia follow suit.
Yeah.
Or yesterday, perhaps, maybe yesterday. Um, so it seems to be lemmings here. They all sort of follow each other. Not all. Japan has been hiking rates. Well, the last one was in January.
Uh,
Taiwan hiked rates. In June, Brazil hiked rates. Otherwise, the world central banks are cutting.
right. So,
Um,
so I don't know if any of them are wise enough. I always, you got governments involved, you got bankers involved. You would think that bankers at least would be smart. Um, Pretty much the productivity is the flip side of prices going down. So we should have disinflation or even deflation as if you have really, really solid productivity. I have to think that these bankers are looking forward on AI and thinking to themselves productivity is going to keep inflation in check and or even get
yeah.
us under 2%, which then would be back to the problem we had for 5 years, uh, where we were down, where inflation was down under 1%.
Well,
So
as you know, AI is going to cause massive deflation, but yeah,
yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So therefore you will be getting ahead of that curve by lowering interest rates now.
Well, and then there's parts of the economy that are really suffering.
Right. Yes.
Basically everything that's non-AI, right? Um, so
Yeah,
that's interesting. It's almost like they need interest rates that say, okay, these are the rates for this part of the economy, and these are the rates for this part of the economy that's doing
right,
well.
right.
I'm surprised actually no one's really thought of that before, but I'm encouraging them not to. So please put
No,
that out of
no,
your
I
mind.
think, yeah, right.
Yeah. Right. To actually try to target though, like say, okay, we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
give these industries this lower rate. Like, real estate's hurting. Let's give them a lower rate
exactly.
and only
Yeah,
real estate.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Hope that, well, anyway, I'll just leave it there. Okay. Speaking of groundbreaking changes, developments, Randy,
Okay, okay.
you may have seen this yesterday. You may have missed it, but Strategy now has a credit rating.
Hmm.
The S&P gave them a B minus
Okay.
credit rating. Now that's better than nothing.
No, I used to consider that to be like perfect.
Yeah. In school, right. You're happy with a B minus?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of interesting because it's the same rating as JetBlue. And I'm sorry,
Oh,
the JetBlue logo here is hard to see, but we've got
okay.
Strategy versus JetBlue in this table.
All right.
Okay. Strategy has 72 billion in Bitcoin. It's liquid, global, perfectly scarce. JetBlue has hangars, airplanes, hangars, a loyalty program. They are liquid and depreciating. Total debt for Strategy is 8 billion in long dated convertible debt, and JetBlue has 8.5 billion of traditional debt.
Hmm.
Equity, Strategy has 50 billion in total equity, and JetBlue has 2.3 billion.
Wow.
Liquidity. Strategy can liquidate or pledge instantly, settles in minutes. JetBlue, assets can't be sold quickly, reliant on refinancing.
Mm-hmm.
Operational risk. No fuel inventory or credit market dependence. JetBlue, exposed to fuel, labor, and consumer demand cycles. Collateral quality. Bitcoin, pristine, over-collateralized, counterparty risk-free. JetBlue has planes, depreciating, illiquid, and cyclical, etc. It goes on and on and on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of crazy that they got such a low credit rating. Now,
Yeah.
what's even crazier is what they said.
Okay.
So there's 3 pages here of what they said. I'll highlight a couple of things for you.
Right.
Okay, and I quote, the strategy that the strategy is employing creates an inherent currency mismatch. The company has a long Bitcoin position and a short US dollar position. Okay, so they cite that as a risk. This is the actual strategy of the company, is to take dollars and buy Bitcoin, and they're citing that as a problem. And also, because we deduct Bitcoin assets from equity when we calculate adjusted common equity, the company has negative total adjusted capital as of the second quarter of 2025. So they're taking Bitcoin and deducting it from equity as
I
though
see.
it's like a liability,
I see. I see.
right? So how silly is that? No wonder they've got a ridiculously low credit rating. And they cite its Bitcoin assets don't generate cash flows.
Mhm.
Fine, whatever. Yet. And at the end, they say we could raise ratings if we expect the company to improve US dollar liquidity. This is exactly what they're getting away from. They're taking US dollars and converting it to Bitcoin.
Right.
It's comical, but at the very least, while I can rant and rave about this for hours, it's a step. It's a positive step
Yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of S&P giving the company a credit rating. It opens the door to certain investors.
Sure.
And as we move up the rating curve or the different rating levels, it will open the door to more and more investors.
Yeah, and let me comment that the Moonshot blog or podcast this morning did a video with the founder of Solana, who then explains how Solana fits into this entire thing.
Mm.
And I listened to it for about 20 minutes, and I studied Latin, but I have never studied Greek. And it was all Greek to me. I mean, I tried my best to figure out how Solana differs from the others. And I'm sorry, I'm so maybe other people could watch that and send me a note as to
Well, maybe I'll watch it and
okay,
and educate you, Randy.
there you go.
Yeah. Um, Basically, though, for strategy, as we've talked about, and this is kind of a nice diagram. We've seen this diagram before, but somebody's added the pipes here.
Mm,
The analogy is that, like Exxon, which takes a raw material, crude oil, and refines it into refined products like kerosene and jet fuel and all kinds of stuff, right?
yeah,
Gasoline, chemicals. There's a whole list. Strategy is taking refined Bitcoin and creating securities that people want,
right,
that are meeting needs,
right,
right? And this is showing the pipeline taking capital from different parts of the markets, whether it's cash, so STRC is a very short duration investment. It's taking from the money market funds, of which there's like $129 trillion
right,
worth.
right,
And then the other three preferreds are taking from the bond market, of which there's over 300 trillion, and pumping that money and funneling it into Bitcoin. And it's permanent capital now into Bitcoin.
right.
So they've built this pipeline to do this. Over time, the pipeline is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the way, they also sell their stock, which is taking money from the equity market,
Right,
pumping
right.
it into Bitcoin. This is kind of what strategy's been building. Exxon drills wells and builds pipelines. Strategy does it in the financial markets in this way, but I thought this was a nice visualization of what's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Okay. And there are other people now sort of tackling the real estate side of things and building pipelines and funneling money into Bitcoin. So this in my mind is one of the key things not to be missed. In my view, you can't have a world of AI and robotics and this new system, this new world that we're moving to, if we don't also have a new system of money.
Yeah,
It's
and my and I the a small takeaway that I did get this morning, which I think most people do not understand, and I don't totally understand it, is the cost and the speed and how frictionless the transactions are is a key part
yeah,
of what all these guys are trying to do. So
yes,
if your credit card costs you 2 to 3% for a transaction, and Bitcoin costs you a fraction of a cent for a transaction, and then get all the way down to Solana, and it's 1/10,000th of the
yep,
cost of Bitcoin.
yep.
That reducing the cost of the transaction, speeding up the transaction, will make a difference in what you can transact.
That's right.
I've been commenting on for a long time that the robots, one of the things that humanoid bots are going to do is it's going to make certain products, the industry I understand, manufacturing, there will be products that could not be made because they weren't worth 1995 retail. And with human labor, that's what they had to cost.
Mm,
But if all of a sudden you've got a robot that can do it for $6 an hour and doesn't take breaks, blah, 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 all of a sudden now that same product might only cost $12.95 and it might be extremely viable. And so in financial transactions as well as service transactions, and maybe even products, I don't know, if you reduce the friction and increase and reduce the cost of these financial transactions, there may be entire categories of things that will be possible that were not possible previously.
oh, and I think we have no idea. Like that actually is massive.
Right.
Right. And we've seen before the explosion of activity that happens when you reduce the cost of something, whether it's stock trading and you're reducing the commission cost down to zero. Look at the explosion of activity we have now in the markets.
Well, the example that they gave was the betting markets.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be these I guess they're already starting the decision markets. So you've got the betting markets and the decision markets, which you can pay a fraction of a cent or whatever.
Hmm.
And the transactions happen rapidly. And these are two of the fastest growing industries in the world, and they didn't exist prior to Bitcoin.
Yeah. And there's no reason why we can't have micropayments and all that.
Right, right.
Just in terms of Solana versus Bitcoin, to me, I think of Bitcoin as kind of the base layer, the
Yeah,
secure store of value.
yeah,
It's not really meant to be a transaction layer. It's kind of like the central bank,
right.
right? I don't do transactions directly with the central bank,
Hmm.
right? I do it with my credit card or PayPal and Venmo. That then settles with the bank, and then that
Right.
then settles with the regional bank, and so on. So there's different layers in all this, and there will be too in this new system.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here's the end of my rant. This is kind of funny. Frequency of audits. Federal Reserve versus Bitcoin. Last audit 110 years ago for the Fed. Last audit for Bitcoin 10 minutes ago. It's funny, but something to think
Yeah.
about, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's completely transparent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Final thing. According to the US government, the cost of health insurance has declined 18% over the last 5 years. Meanwhile, the average family health insurance premium was up 26% over the same period. This should call into question everything the government says about inflation. So there's the CPI chart here.
Yes.
And then here's the average family health insurance premium in the United States. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a um, somebody made a comment today. I thought the comment was extremely appropriate. If in fact anybody is paying $4,000 a month for insurance, even for their entire family, something's broken and needs to be fixed rapidly.
Right. Yeah. So on that cheery note,
That sure you don't.
that brings me to the end of my slides. I
Yeah,
should have put a cartoon or something at the end. I'm sorry I didn't.
yes. Happily, my wife and I are on her insurance policy. She's still employed, so we haven't even had to go over to Medi-Cal yet, or Medicare, whatever it's called. But I don't know what it would cost for an insurance policy at my ripe old age, but it might be a lot.
As fit and as healthy as you are, Randy, no, it'd be
Well,
next to nothing. Don't
yeah,
worry, you'll be fine.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Ignore those numbers I just shared with you. It's not a problem.
All right. Okay. So Yeah, what do we take away from everything that you just did? Um,
Massive confusion, I think, is the
Massive confusion.
yeah.
This is kind of all right. So I talked for 2 seconds earlier about the global warming thing and how this is now finally maybe going to be resolved, uh, where we don't have to have this big argument anymore. But when I was studying it deeply, and I mean I've been studying it deeply for 25 years, one of the things that was fascinating to me was the interaction of the ground or the earth, the oceans,
Mm.
the things in the ocean, the growth and the animals and the oxygenation and carbon dioxide, everything, the things that grow on top of the ocean, the things that grow on top of the earth, the various elements of the atmosphere, stratosphere and ionosphere and all this stuff, and the fact that they actually interact with each other to cure one another.
Mm.
And then you've got the sun, and the sun is the biggest by far component of weather. And then you've got what the humans are contributing to all of this. Anyway, the reason why it took us getting into the age of AI to get the weather this correct is because it's really hard to predict all those.
Yeah.
Okay, now why do I bring that up?
I don't know.
That's how that's how I feel about the economy going forward.
Mm.
We've got all these moving parts.
Yep.
The demographics are changing dramatically, not just in the United States, but worldwide. Huge changes in demographics like nothing we've ever seen. We've got now immigration. Now, maybe it's going to slow down because people are getting tired of it. But we've had this immigration on a massive scale all over the world, which is creating all kinds of chaos in the social sphere. We've
Yep.
got the additional chaos that we just talked about politically right now in the cities, or the poor versus the rich or whatever. Then you add in Bitcoin, you add in AI, you add in robotics, you add in the potential, at least, for a jobs problem, even if it's temporary. There could be at least a temporary job shift that leaves a lot of people out. You got people talking about UBI. I mean, I've been alive for 7.5 decades, and I don't think I can remember any economic future that is this uncertain, looking great. That's what we say in the book over and over and over again. It looks great, but the complexity of it is mind-boggling.
So if we take your analogy then with the climate,
Mhm.
the complexity of it's mind-boggling.
Mhm.
And yet I think you said that in the age of AI, we're making some sense of it.
Right.
Are we also then going to make some sense of the complex economy and social and political situations with AI?
That's a great idea.
Is that your message?
I know, but it is now.
I
Yeah.
was trying to make sense of what you said, but that's what came
Well,
to mind.
I don't know why that hasn't come into my mind already. I mean, it's kind
Oh,
of like Elon saying that he's not using AI for Starship. I was like, you're not?
yeah. He's kind of one of the AI guys, isn't he?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, okay. What you said makes perfect sense, and I'm feeling a little foolish. Am I
Well, I'm
blushing?
trying I'm trying
Am
to
I
end the show
blushing?
on a hopeful note, Randy. I'm trying not to leave your audience in tatters.
That's great. It's fantastic. There you go. Well, I think on that note, maybe we should bid the audience adieu.
Sounds good. Thank you, Randy.
And to all of you out there, it's been great talking to you.